Okay. Am I here? We here?
Yay!
Oh,
Am I here?
shit.
Here? Yay!
Hold on. Do you hear
Good?
the echo?
No, that was my. That was.
Oh! I was like, dude, what did I just do? All right. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Kyle wasn't popping up on here, and then I couldn't get it going, and I just...
I thought you were about to say Kyle wasn't on time. I was like, whoa.
Immediately throw you under the bus for yeah, that's what they would believe. Of course, you know, like when you're not here, I just fall apart. That's basically what it comes down to. I think that's what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, shout out to Alan Fang from Malaysia. Let me move these things. Let me move some screens around. I even came down here with plenty of time, and I did a little research prior to the show to, like, you know, search a couple things and have some, like, you know, really prep for the content. And then I was like, okay, let me make sure the frame is all framed up and all this stuff. And then next thing you know, wasn't ready. The simplest thing. So anyway, welcome to episode 322 of the Spick and Span Show, Tampa. Congratulations to PB FIT. Congratulations to Dynasty. Congratulations to everybody out there who had a fun time. And we're gonna do a little event recap. We're gonna have some great guests on the show as well. And it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be great. Everything's gonna be go good. Everything's gonna go well. No need to panic.
Good guests on today.
Yeah, we got a couple guests. We got a couple good guests. We'll talk a little bit about the Hall of Icons and the summit. The award show is actually really cool again. Not as big as last year, but still, I would say pretty cool. Let me move. What do I need to move? I need to move something here.
One of our guests got a pretty, I think, one of the bigger awards.
Yeah. We got an icon here. I kind of forgot about it. I didn't. I forgot, like, in the whirlwind of doing everything. I didn't even really know that you could. I knew you could vote, but I didn't even think about, like, telling people to vote. We didn't tell anybody to vote for us, did we?
Yeah, we didn't.
That's why we didn't win. Not because our show isn't the best show.
I was waiting to see if we would have won. I had some funny things ready for it.
We'll win next year. We got him next year. We got him next year. And to be completely honest, I did vote. I voted for Paintball Ruined My Life. Straight up. Have you seen a show? That's the quality is, like, you know?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I love our background. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than this. And my neighbor actually came in here and was like, wow, this is a pretty cool office. And I was like, really? All right. But his is, like, clean and nice. And, like, if we were to redo this, it's like...
We don't need the awards.
We don't need awards, dude. That's right. Get these things out.
We're doing this for you.
I don't need awards. We don't need awards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, right. Exactly. And... I do believe that, I think that everything else was relatively on par. I think that was the only real snubbery. I don't know. I didn't really know the divisional ref of the year well enough to really have a say in exactly whether or not he should or shouldn't have won. But I've seen some of those big game guys. Yeah. They're pretty good. They're on it.
Yeah, I'm usually at those, and I think he deserved it. From what I've seen all the ones that I've been at.
Yeah. And I think Shelly got Photographer of the Year. Verbal won a couple of awards. I believe. I think everything was pretty good. Pretty good. You know, PTG would have been on time. That's why they're content creators of the year. Their stuff's pre-taped. Alexander, JA, they're pre-taped. And I like to think that at 322 episodes, we're on time quite a bit. You know, we've gotten a lot of the little nuanced BS out of the way quite a bit. So I'd like to think that we're doing pretty good here. Doing pretty good. Big shout out to Brian Booth. I saw him in the Gen X Global ad today. He's in there collecting the pods, showing them off, wearing a not only the one and only Spick and Span tank top while you're picking up pods too, if you guys check that out. So shout out to Gen X Global sponsoring the show. And yeah. Oh, cool. What do we got here?
how many people in here watching the show were at the award show? Had to go to the award show.
Yeah, did anybody here go to the award show? I mean, I was there. I was presenting on there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yosh just texted me and said that we've got a new force trigger through RG18 Signature Series force trigger is now up on the Dynasty page at dynastypaintball.com. Just got that message. And the force trigger, I do want to point out actually also a couple of cool things, you know. This, about the background, because now that's kind of coming into mind because I've had this trigger for a while. There's like all these little things that are in the background, just oftentimes that are like little Easter eggs. Like for instance, I had the first quarter of those those JT goggles, the birthstone goggles. They were sitting right here, like the whole time, and I could have gotten in trouble for that, but nobody really paid attention and noticed. And so yeah, you guys, if you guys snoop around and you enhance and you zoom in, you're gonna find, I think there's some sort of wild animal trying to get into this door, but the door is, because it's pouring rain out here, the door's swelling. She can't get in. There's all sorts of really cool Easter eggs that you might be able to find something that's dropping soon or later, or not at all actually. I think all that. So anyway, yeah, excellent first event. That was all time. Kyle, you guys did really well. I think a lot of teams. I feel like everybody did really well. I think it was across the board. Some of the newer teams struggled a bit, and you know, a lot of people out there were a lot of haters were silenced. I think PB Fit played a impeccable, flawless game again.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we kept
a statement for sure.
Yeah, for sure, and good for them, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. And without Colt, right?
Yeah, that's kind of too where I was getting at.
Yeah. We still got the PB Fit emojis in there.
Oh yeah.
Although the stock market didn't like it very much that PB Fit won, and that Dynasty lost. If Dynasty had won, we would have had a green day yesterday, I think. Yeesh. And then yeah, so big shout out to everybody. Give me that. Nope, get out of here. He's stealing my wallet right now. You thought that was your wallet? You thought that this Dynasty wallet right here? I'll tell you what. As we jump from topic to topic.
You need to fix the door.
I'll fix the door so you can't get in.
Dad.
Uh-huh.
The door is
Okay, bye. Sloan came out. She was having a blast. I had the boys out there. The weather was perfect. Didn't start raining till the next day. So it was all time. It's like Camille. It's like people forget that every single Tuesday for the last 322 weeks at 4 p.m. You know. And yeah, thanks Shelly, everybody who was lucky enough to get Sloan's autograph over the weekend. She was at the team signing, which was pretty cool.
Is your signature trigger like Chris LaSoya signature series, the body shape?
I don't know. Did someone say that?
No,
I
figured you probably had seen it.
Does he have a trigger out also?
Yeah, I guess you missed the joke, but it's fine. We'll just move on.
Oh, you mean if it's shaped like my body?
Remember he had the porn star trigger?
Oh gosh, no, I didn't. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good one though. That is sweet.
My guest, our guest was asking for the link. I think we should get him in here.
Oh yeah. It's the same link every week. If you want to save it, if you want to put it in your notes or something. But I'll send it to you right now.
I have it.
Oh, you have it. Oh, okay.
I was just letting you know, so like.
Yeah. I'll watch for it. Real quick again, I do have something to mention prior to. Actually, I could probably do it when both the guests are on there too, because. Big thanks to all the show supporters and sponsors: BFP Gear Jr., the boys from NECTR, Alex and HORMESIS. We got Kyle with Tigerwear, Arfon and Gen X, Pate Smith of the famed Pate Smith Law. Also, I was trying to find the move of the event. They didn't announce it for World Cup, but I couldn't find. I looked through all of my archived footage from World Cup, and I could not find the video to support it. But they did announce it. Maybe what we'll do is we know who it is. He won, but he knows he won. But I would like to actually get some content with him specifically, and that way we can maybe even get him on. Kind of, I know it was a long time ago. I'm almost positive that Blake Yarber is going to win move of Sunday of the finals day, because I don't know, he got a 5-pack when we were tied up with under a minute against the Russians, and then we hit the buzzer with 7 seconds left to make it on past that round. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty solid. Oh, well, there goes the surprise on who our other guest is going to be. We've actually got 2 guests coming in here. And I'll make your screen a little bigger too. We got a couple guests coming in for this one, and yeah, Blake had himself an absolute event for his birthday. That was definitely rad, and I believe he was on his way to getting a golden barrel. Also, Harrison had a really good event as well, starting over there on that Dorito side, and he played a lot of points. I mean, that was the crazy thing is a lot of guys, and we'll get back into this, had really good events in really big moments across the board. Really, I mean, Kyle, you guys stole points that you shouldn't have won also on multiple occasions, which is pretty rad, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
One quick thing that I do want to address, and I mentioned it in my Hall of Icon speech, and I'll let everybody know who won on the Icon Awards, was I mean the PV Fit fan base. I mean, they're great. I think it's so good that there are fans out there that care enough to travel to events, that care enough to show up. It's really great when people get loud in the stands. I mean, we've been on the unfavorable side of a lot of those, especially playing over in Europe. You can always find out when you've lost a player or not. I mean, most of the fans, I think everybody loves us, but a lot of people want to see us lose. And I don't know, I got to get the lady's name. She definitely has got some pretty funny content. She was saying some funny things about the Spicka Span Show and about like kind of making some of these funny rhymes. So I do appreciate that, and I like the.
She is nice. I've talked to her. I think
I'm sure she's nice. Yeah. However, there were some incidents in the stands that have to do with intolerance and bigotry and pretty much everything that's uncalled for when you're talking to anybody else, especially in such a small community. And I really want to say that I do not condone that. And, there's no place for it in the small. I mean, the grandstands hold 100 people combined. It's not like we're in a huge stadium with tens of thousands of people and we can afford to have just some assholes being assholes and then fighting each other. And then, I don't think there's any amount of people that you can afford to have that sort of thing happen. But, especially in such a small environment, and it zoomed in on so much, that you guys have got to grow up. I don't know who it was exactly. I know that there were some people that were very upset, but I believe that it was very racially involved and motivated. So I just want to say that if you were a part of that, you're an asshole, and there's no question about that. And that is not from any type of side of the fence from intolerance. It's just, you're an asshole if you feel like you need to talk down to somebody based upon their race or gender, especially in a paintball event with 50 other people, and just because they're rooting for another team that you don't agree with. So yeah, you're an asshole if you are watching this and you heard that, if you're a friend or know of anybody. And I don't know if it's worse than the Dodger Stadium. It's certainly, I don't think that it's appropriate in any environment, but yeah, just grow up. Really, you got to grow up, man. And if you are one of the people that were affected by that, man, I'm really sorry, and I do apologize. And I hope that truly hope that it wasn't anybody who was also cheering for Dynasty. It didn't sound like there were many people there cheering for Dynasty, but there is a possibility. Yeah, and every sports has a lot to do with it. And yeah, alcohol.
Let our guest in before he leaves.
What's that?
Better let our guest in before he leaves.
Oh, I know. I'll get him in here. He's right here. I'll get him in. Whoops, don't move this. Where are you? But I just wanted to wrap that up and mention that part because that's on the top of my list, is intolerance and fans. So with that being said, I'm going to let our first guest in here, a real prick.
Destroying the codex is the only way it remains unobtainable, right?
I don't know. I think he's watching some sort of superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camera on?
Hold on, I'm trying to turn it on here.
Oh, God damn it. Why does this thing just get really big? We're having all sorts of troubles here. Oh, he just exited and then entered again. All right. There he is. Okay. What movie were you watching?
Venom.
Oh, I just watched that last night. We watched it last night.
Yeah, I'm watching the new one.
Is it any good?
It's not great, but I mean, it'll keep you occupied.
It's cool so far. I mean, I honestly, I like every superhero movie, so whatever they put out, I enjoy.
The dialogue is kind of cool because it's different. Like him with himself, that is Venom.
Oh, man, this thing is messing up again. I can't adjust where your screen is. Anyway.
They've seen enough of me. I mean, you could just... I think you, on Zoom, on the side, it says, like, the view.
No, I mean, I'm trying to adjust it on
OBS.
the OBS software, and it's not allowing me to highlight the thing. But we could see both you guys. It's just not.
What does that shirt say?
Who is mine?
Yeah.
Dynasty?
No, the tie-dye one.
Oh, you want to see the tie-dye shirt, dude? This is the jam right here. Your weekly fast pass to the doghouse.
Oh, that's what it says?
Yeah. So everybody here who supports the show, basically takes 2 hours out of their evening on a Tuesday night to sit with us and listen to us jabber about. Honestly, who knows? You know, I've got a couple things written down here, but for the most part, everybody's getting doghoused hard when they watch the Spick and Span show.
What did I miss so far?
No, nothing. Just some really light talk about racism in the stands at the event. Nothing too deep.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's sad.
I know. But so anyway, you didn't really miss much.
Ryan seems to always get heckled whenever they play fit, so he's just...
Well, everybody gets heckled when they play fit, especially in the finals. That's what I've heard. I've heard the guys that played with what's that other team that didn't make it? Blast Camp. They were like, sometimes it gets really really bad. Like sometimes it's like in the stands, they're like, they say very personal things, and like some of the guys are young, you know. If you yell at me like, "Hey Ryan, you're washed up and you suck," and your show, she's like, "The Spick and Span show sucks." I'm like, "All right." Got me.
Yeah.
And I know I don't suck, so I just.
But I can't imagine what it's like at a...
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, the thing is, and actually, I kind of wanted to get your guys' takes, and I was going to talk a little bit about that Dan Bilzerian guy too. But like, I mean, there's haters everywhere, and people talk shit about everybody. You know?
Yeah, go to a Phillies game as any other fan.
I know. And it's just, you know, some people are schmucks and some people talk shit, and it's just when you're a player at a high level, you just have to have the confidence in yourself and just be like, kind of shrug it off. And it's actually kind of interesting because I'd be interested to kind of hear another high level or elite athlete type of person who has to deal with stuff like that on a regular basis, and just kind of see what they have to say and how they deal with it. I don't know. I don't think anybody talks shit to you, J-Rab. You're also usually in that center, and you kind of like, no one's like, J-Rab, you're a bitch. You're ugly. You're bald. Like, you know.
Are they saying this stuff while they're playing?
Yeah, while we're playing. Yeah. In between points. Yeah, I get it a lot.
Yeah.
Like you have to put all your dishes and cups on. You can't even put them on the top cabinet because you wouldn't be able to reach them. Stuff like that.
They're saying that to you, Kyle.
They see some stuff.
I mean,
and hold on. Android. I never said that she made any racial slurs or inappropriate chants from the stands. I said, if you listen to the show instead of just chiming in and talking shit, that she was great. And I actually really enjoyed what she said. And I think that her and what she does is awesome. I think that fans like that are great. However, there were some people in the stands who were saying some very inappropriate shit. So, I'm not talking about that. Pay attention, dude. You jackass. Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I will say for someone who's played in the finals a lot and played World Cup finals, and I personally never hear any shit from the fan. Like I tune it out. Like I don't like you. It's more of like a whoa, like one of those. Like it's there, but it's not. I'm not really hearing it. Yeah, I don't really hear it or like tune it in or pay attention to it. So it's not something that I've ever been like, oh, fuck them. Like it's never been a big problem for me because I never actually listened to it. Even when people are like cheering me on and like saying nice things about me, I'm not hearing those either.
Right.
It's all just kind of like
it also depends though. Like when you make a good move or you're playing on that Dorito side, you win a point. Like there's like, oh yeah, go. Like those are cool. It's like it's great. I mean, I like both of them to a certain extent. Like I'm not saying that everybody needs to be classy. Just don't be racist. That's all mine was. Like Greenspan sucks. There used to be a guy in all the events. And actually, the funny thing about it is it was in Tampa when we played at the Tampa event back in the MPPL in 2014 or whatever. There was somebody in the sidelines that every single one of our games, I think we played like 4 on each day, and they would go 10 seconds and someone would go, Greenspan sucks! Every single match that we played. It was hilarious.
That reminds me of Happy Gilmore when the guy shows up and calls him the jackass on every one of his swings.
Jackass.
Yeah.
I mean, those are great, man. Like, I truly appreciate that. And I love that people are fans and passionate about it because that's what we need in the sport, right? Yeah. We need people to be passionate enough to, like, stand up to where, like, let's do it. Like bringing big old like pictures of the guys and shaking them around. Dude, that's so great. Like we need more of that. It's just, don't turn into a drunk asshole. Is essentially what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that to like 90% of the league.
I know. It was just that there was a specific incident and then I was thrown into it like afterwards. And then I had to like kind of hear about all of the issues that went down. And then there may have been another incident in the parking lot. Not sure exactly if it was involving the same group of people or not, but I heard that there was a lot of stuff that was happening up there and it kind of crossed a line. So
yeah.
And that's unfortunate, right?
Yeah, I mean that sucks. But that's the unfortunate reality of having of having fans. Like it doesn't matter like what city you go to or what team you root for. There's always going to be, a set of fans that are dickheads, and that comes with the territory. It really does. I mean, as unfortunate as it is, as shitty as it sounds, like you don't want those things in your sport, but
but it's going to happen.
That's the reality. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. It really does suck,
I know. And I'm sure that my PSA here isn't going to change the world.
Yeah. But you got to try, right?
Yeah, you got to try. I mean, we're in a position where there is a possibility that someone like, even if there's like a light bulb that's like, yeah, you know what? That's right. I have my 6-year-old daughter here. Maybe I could be a little bit better of a role model, or maybe I can be like, hey guys, let's knock it off, right? Kind of thing. I don't know. But that's.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would like to see that guy come back and say Greenspan sucks at 10 seconds every time.
Me too. I bet we could do that.
I would love it.
It was so funny.
See that guy every 10 seconds say that you suck.
At 1 second.
Yeah, or even better.
Yeah. There you go. Do you guys remember Red up in the stands?
Yeah.
My buddy Red. Yeah.
He was the greatest.
He was the greatest. He was the greatest because everything that he said, you just laugh at.
Yeah.
Oh, good call, Meter. Good call. You got Meter just sitting here watching that. Is he just at a beach bar right now?
I guess they're at the.
How can I? Is there a way that I can also see the chat, or do I have to go to like YouTube? And
you got to go onto YouTube.
Let's go to YouTube and then mute it.
Okay, let me do that then.
Well, the funny thing is, Kyle and Meter are in Miami right now, staying at the same house. And Kyle came back to the house to go jump on the Spick and Span show, and Meter just stayed where they were. And
Ryan was like, "Hey, do you think Meter mount? You gotta mute that."
Sorry, I'm trying.
All right, take your time.
All right, I'm good.
Ryan's like, "Can you get see if Meter or Mouse will come?" I just sent him a picture of Meter sitting at the bar in his board shorts. I'm like, I'll try.
I'm gonna get Joe. So Joe's coming in too. We got Joe Barrett in the house. He's great, by the way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like Joe.
All right. He's hilarious. And then I want everybody now that Rab can see the what up, Joe?
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Hey, buddy.
Life's good, man. How are you guys?
Good. Pocket Cotto.
Pocket Cotto, dude. These guys love their avocados. This is a mushy old Pocket Cotto. No, this is
you're you this way a little bit.
Me?
Yeah, just a second. No, it's me. I'm trying to.
No. Yeah, Ryan, right there is good.
Yep. I'm
I think you
There
dropped.
we go.
I'm moving everything here. So yeah, Joe, as you jump in, we're just kind of touching the tip of the iceberg here on the event, and kind of, I think a couple guys in here were talking about it, about AC Diesel. You guys kept your momentum going, and still had a really good showing. Blew it against Impact on that one. I mean, there was a lot of blowing its out there that happened for a lot of teams.
Yeah,
We don't
it
get
really
that major,
was.
I think we win.
What's that?
We don't get that major, I think we win.
100%. You guys should have won that game.
And I had a goated 32nd point that won us the Hurricanes match, or got back in to get a point ahead.
Well, and that's what it is too. There was a lot of those. There were a lot of points stolen. We were kind of talking about that before J-Rab got in here, but there were a lot of points stolen from a lot of teams. Not just, I mean, we did it on every single match, which would be nice not to do that. But a lot of teams kind of had like last second heroic comebacks, which is obviously really exciting to watch for the guys there on the sidelines.
Yeah, you'll usually only see like one of those like one match of the event that'll happen, but it seemed like it happened like 5 or 6 times, which is insane.
Yeah,
that was a field that, like, if you could get out wide on like both sides and control the middle, you could create a really fast point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, getting out wide was so tough against a lot of teams. But you know, it's the funny thing, and I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be still playing on this layout, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about the strategy. And I mean, that's what PB Fit did so well. Like, no one could make it wide on them. Like, we couldn't. We tried. We got shot off the break like 7 or 8 different guys got shot off the break throughout that match in the final. We just couldn't go wide, and we're like. But there's only, like, the back center couldn't see anything. So, like,
yeah,
Cyrus just kind of do, you're kind of like rolling the dice. I mean, you're one of those, you got, like, you know, those, I joked about it too, but like, you should just roll dice. And, okay, I'm putting play 3 in, and they're going to roll the dice, and they're going to put in a play. And if I make it, if the guy in the center is shooting snake way and I run Dorito way, I make it. You know?
Back center was, though, in my opinion, it was kind of crucial that if you notice, like, the other team wasn't in a certain area, the back center was pretty beneficial. Or if you knew a team was going to like backfill into the back center after shooting in a blind zone, there was a lot of little intricate things. To be honest, like, I don't even think that this field was like completely utilized with all the things that you could do on it. Like, I still think we could play another tournament on this field and see it play differently.
I mean, I'm just glad that it wasn't a low scoring. Because I talked to a lot of people, and Rab, when we practiced, it wasn't very low scoring. But I talked to some of the other guys that was out there, and it was like, oh, we've had 7-minute points. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't believe it either when people were saying that. But then, you know, once the thing is, this field was so weird because the way you practiced it with a little bit harder paint, like we don't have like tournament brittle paint,
Right?
and not everyone is, you know, telling the coaches or telling the other team, hey, you bounced me, or I got bounced twice going to the corner. So it's like coaches aren't accounting for that. The players aren't really accounting for that because it's just practice. Like, oh, I got bounced. Like people just forget about those things. So when you get, you know, tournament paint and it's super brittle, and the good players are hitting those shots every single time, like a fast field turns real slow, real fast.
Yeah, that's for sure. But then again, like no one was making it wide, and there were still really high scoring games, even when it was double pocket. And I think that a lot of that was, I mean, bounce shots, dude. The bounce shots in that field.
Yeah, the bounce shot.
This was on a whole other level, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like a bounce shot to shoot that area of someone going up to the Snake Tower from.
Yeah, there was.
On the Dorito.
Yeah, on the Dorito side. We were at the end because like Fit wasn't running. I'm like, Joe, just shoot the bounce shot. Maybe like I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the most technical, like inside out pocket plays I've ever played because that field had really good shots, but they were from scary places. Like you could shoot that snake side Aztec, but you had to do it from the Dorito side of the back center, which just kind of put you in the open and like you'd see your mirror right downfield. So you're like, all right, I might hit this guy, but I might get shot, or I might get a bad shot off because I can see my mirror looking right at me and I got to shoot 3 balls and jump out of the way.
Were you Joe? I know you were doing that a lot. Were you successful in that ever? Because I tried to shoot it sometimes.
We're shooting which guy?
Like stepping out, like wide stepping the back center on the Dorito side to shoot for the Snake Aztec.
Yep. I wouldn't say super successful, but I hit him a few times.
Yeah.
I did the same. I did the same thing. Any team that allowed me to play the dead zone, I was killing that guy a lot on the cross.
Yeah, and we kind of watch, and that's like one of the things that we watch for because we're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and like we'll stand here, we got to run here shooting, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well now if we're gonna run and shoot here, we have to just prep ourselves for the possibility of J-Rab standing out in the open shooting across. So now we have to like completely give up a gun on a wide spot and hope that you do that so that we could do something else.
Try to bait him into doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And again, that's what I'm saying is like this field was, right, Joe, you're so technical, but, and Kyle, you mentioned it too, like there are so many small nuances on like what to do, especially in a back center, which you have very little vision. I mean, you could shoot Dorito away by like covering yourself, protecting yourself by shooting straight ahead, and then like stepping out, and then you can see Dorito 1, and then the guy never runs, right? And then the time that you decide to shoot this bounce shot or shoot back at the thing, the guy runs to Dorito 1, and we're shooting snake way. It's like, it was so hard to determine which direction and what to do, and especially against you. Yeah, go ahead.
It was the first field that we've probably had in, man, a lot of years where you couldn't shoot everything.
Yeah.
Like no game plan that you could come up with was able to do everything. Where normal on most fields you can have, okay, this guy shoots cross, like you have someone to be able to hold everywhere, at least a little bit. But on this field you had to pick and choose. And if you picked wrong and the other team picked right, you were gonna have a bad day. Like it was
that's what I'm saying, right?
Really bad with that.
Like in that overtime point with Aftermath, we got we shot one of their guys relatively quick, and then the point just going on. We're all playing the pocket. And it's like that's when I came over to give Mouse that pod, and we're talking, and then I'm like, well, should we try to push the snake or like go up the middle? And then I'm going up the middle, and I'm like, well, I don't know which way the Aztecs are shooting, because if they're cross, I'm kind of cooked here. Maybe one of them straight ahead, but these three, I'm like, do I go in this channel or this channel? And I picked the wrong channel because the snake Aztec was the one looking across. And then I've heard many times, you should use the other channel. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
But if it was vice versa, I'm getting shot there too. So, yeah, it was a really tough field in that. And you know what's funny is I told Jason, I was like, dude, how did you do this on this field? Like, this would take me like 2 years to go through every single like spot and like move it back around just so like everything was balanced. There was a counter to almost everything. There's a counter to like blind zones. There's a counter to running wide. There's a counter to like playing in the pocket. And he kind of just shrugged it off, like, I don't know. Like, it was easy.
Well, I think honestly, I think he just got lucky. I mean, I'm sure he's putting it down and he's looking at lanes and he's making sure that, this can't shoot this. Can this guy make it on the break? And sure, yeah, he's looking at that stuff. But all the very technical things that we had to deal with on the field, there's no way he's accounting for that.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
Dude, Kyle, I mean, he does.
Because we weren't even really doing that in practice. Right. Like the tournament, the way that the field evolved in the tournament is really unlike any other field too. Like typically you know what everyone's going to do by the end of Friday. And everyone's already doing that on Saturday, and then everyone is dialed in on all of it on Sunday. But like this field was evolving like every match, and even through the match, it was evolving. So it was really cool to see that. I thought.
was going to ask you something, Rab, too. That Malice Meter and I were talking about last night. Do you think that like if our match didn't go the way that it did, maybe that hurts your guys' performance in the long run of the event? Because I felt like it was able to kind of show you a different speed to play the field.
Yeah, no, I think the way that how you guys beat us, it pretty much showed like you can't reach on this field, right? Where like some fields, like we can play fast and we try to, but it was really the reaching and like playing smart, because especially on that, Joe will tell you, especially on that Dorito side, if any one of your Dorito guys died, the game was pretty much over. Like I bet if we go back and we look at all the points and see the stats, the team that lost their Dorito player first or their Dorito 2 first lost the point. And I bet that number is probably over like 85%. I can guarantee it.
I agree.
It was so hard to play that. One, you couldn't get out. Like if you were the back center guy and your front guy died, you were stuck. There was no leaving.
If you didn't release, like
you got to do it right away.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you killed that guy on the break and you didn't release right away, you were trapped. Game's over. So it's like that side was just like impossible to lose a player. Like if you lost a player, you were cooked. The game was over. So it was very, very important. Like you guys showed us that, hey, if we try to reach and we die, then we just lose the point. And that's really what happened in the match against you guys. We're trying to take gunfights when we shouldn't have, and things like that. You die, and then it literally shows you the field like
it just collapses.
Good teams are going to win those up body situations. That field was, you saw it happen, but you didn't see many teams lose up body situations.
Yeah,
right?
I thought there wasn't really a lot of payoff in cross shots till you were past the 50. So it was really a win your heads up field. And the pattern I noticed, even probably by like the second day of practice, was this was not a layout that was good for rock breaker front guys. And what I mean by that is all those guys in the league who are like stupid fast and all gas weren't that effective, because if they weren't good at communicating or playing the slow game out of the pocket, they were fucking their back guy. Because a lot of times the back guy, you'd pull up and shoot your shot and you're like, all right, I don't know if he's still in those short Aztecs or further. So if my front guy doesn't say something, I'm basically just back here shooting blindly. And when that guy would say something like, oh, it's still, short to this bunker, it's still big this, you're like, all right, cool. Now I can kind of know what's going on. But if he got put in and didn't yell a red alert, or he lost a gunfight or whatever, you're like, all right, now I have to fill out uphill, and this guy could already be wrapping the 50 on the next 5 seconds on me. So your front guys had to be really like engaged with the line and seeing the big picture, like the whole field from above. It was a high IQ front guy field, and opportunists who played with their twos did a lot better than those charged down the field ones.
Yeah. And the snake side was hard too, because you needed to place that guy in the middle. So if that other guy, if the other guy had to swing Dorito way because you lost a person over there early, then your snake player, if he decides to leave that Aztec to go into the snake, you really don't have his head's down and the next closest person to him is in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that was a really interesting balance to try to,
I think the one thing that would have made this field like the best field we've probably ever played would be eliminating those bounce shots into the 50 bricks on both sides.
Oh, I know. Like, how lame is that? You get into a spot, and as soon as you're discovered,
what I'm saying.
It's curtains for you,
It was so difficult and so hard to just get to those spots anyways. And for you to get there, and then literally in 5 seconds, or sometimes even less, if the team was on the ball, they would kill you instantly on the bounce shot, and then so like no one wanted to go there. Like it wasn't worth even running to the snake on the break.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like the snake, I just real quick, it was like the snake was its own tournament. It's like its own thing in and of itself, because I would get in there so many times and you're like, all right, well, there's a guy somewhere in here. There's 15 spots he could be in. And I'm like, do I want to crawl up here? Like, where's the guy in the middle? And then the only thing that was a saving grace was, because we had the morning and the evening games, was like the shadows were so bad that you could really figure out what was going on. But yeah, I mean, like that whole center too, and we played it a ton. And the thing about it is, like, you're really rolling the dice by going up there too, because like you said, as soon as you identify where that guy is, it's just curtains. I mean, I remember looking over and there's bounce shots just breaking and spraying all over him on both sides. I go, dude, just crawl to another part of it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do either.
You're decoy now. Decoy.
That's why Clint, when you guys were playing against Impact and that point, he was just laying in the prone position, pointing in the sky. Like, that's definitely not what you want to do, but I guess you have no other choice, because the bounce shots were so gnarly going into that middle.
So bad.
Well, then also too, like if you got busted that you're laying in that area, like the snake tower, I guess, and the Dorito tower could, if you try to crawl back and that guy happens to be looking at the fight, he just like sees your head and back, everything.
Yeah. That's what he said. Yoshi's like, I'd rather just get shot on a bounce shot than just be like completely caught with my pants down, crawling on the ground, and someone just standing. Let me die with humility.
No, I agree. It was extremely difficult, but that's also, I'm going to stand on that I think that there was much more even to this field than was like completely shown.
Yeah.
There was a lot more like deception that could have been used. Like that blind zone on the Dorito side too was definitely like usable, but it was really scary, right? Because if you had to deal with if the person in the back center on the Dorito side, was kind of tucked in shooting outside or was looking up. I felt like that was pretty risky, but it could have maybe been used a little bit more.
Wait, the one before the Dorito one? You're saying that dead zone outside there?
The open
just
zone.
standing in the open, just standing
on the
there.
other side.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a great idea until you're standing there looking directly at the guy on the other side. I mean, we practiced it. We actually practiced it a lot, like a slow roll into there, because you have an opportunity to get like a really good shot on that, either their center guy or the guy in that temple on the snake side, because you can kind of pull up and shoot on the cross and then dive into that spot, and there's a good chance, I mean, especially if you're a divisional player watching this, that the person's going to roll up to shoot and they're going to see you and they're going to try to shoot at you, and by the time they switch, you have that free move across. It's just like really scary, because like you guys said, if you're the only guy going that way and you get shot, then the back center knows it's curtains for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also think like the ones on that side that were going to the Aztec, this is something I was like, man, I should have done this more too. That the one, as like the horn would go off, he could make a read, and also play that float zone behind the tower, like blocking himself out, shooting at maybe a Dorito runner, or like knowing when to overstep the Aztec to shoot back at the guy coming up. Like
it's not as easy as said. I tried to get Joe to do that so many times.
If the one would try to do that, I would have killed that guy every time. Because because I was standing in the open. Yes, I was standing in the open and I was looking at that gap every time. If no one crossed through that gap, I would have killed that guy. There's no way he can sit there.
Like, yeah, I guess. But as the horn goes off, I just didn't get to play this spot a lot, but if the horn goes off and I see you wide step to shoot the snake side, I'm going to stutter step and put accurate paint back at you. And then either you flinch or maybe I get you. And then I dive into that zone and you only have this little tiny V to shoot me. And also too, I think a lot of people had success like running and shooting into that Aztec. And so I think if you're coming out and all of a sudden you see a guy just fully booking it and you know he's not going to stop at the Aztec, you were able to stop right before outside of the zone where the home was shooting and be able to get a shot on that outside Dorito and then just like dive basically into it.
I don't know, Joe, but Joe, there's another element to that you're kind of brushing off, and it's the guy that's also running out wide. Because I was like, Joe, let's just get you into that. We called it the Dallas, that tall tower over there. Even like just run out there and you're shooting this guy. But as you run out, your window gets smaller because of that can, right? So you're kind of running across, and the window's huge, 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 and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you get close to it. And then you're kind of like, and then you start running straight at the guy. So I like Joe. Talk about like that whole, I don't know.
Yeah.
Motion over there.
So the very best spot to break shoot is like basically the edge of the Dorito box, right? Because you can shoot at the other home, you could shoot at that Snakeside Aztec, or you could see the dive out to the Doritos, right?
Yeah.
So most of the times, I mean, we were doing it at practice with you guys, Justin, and I know you guys were doing it with us. It was like, all right, I'm going to pull up and I'm going to shoot like my first 3 balls at the other home or dead spot, and then I'm going to shoot safety for that Dorito runner. The really scary thing was when the Dorito runner would just run out guns up, because now it's like, okay, I can shoot at the home and maybe make him jump in. But if that guy's first few balls are on while he runs out and he just hits me, or he shoots at the home that I jump back in, he's either going to kill me or he's going to make it where I can't stand in the space to see where he's about to run and dive to. And maybe he doesn't even go there anyways. Maybe he's just running, gunning to the, sometimes short to the Aztec, other times out to the Doritos. Karsliev did that to me once, and it's just like, well, fuck, now I can't protect my own guy from running far on your guy's back center player. And even if I put that guy away, the runner himself he's protecting himself, shooting at me, and then he gets to just kind of make the read.
Yeah. Or if you just stopped and came back on the inside and you weren't expecting it on the Aztec, threw accurate back at you.
J-Rab, what do you think, and also, I guess for all of us, the kind of the rookie class of teams in the break, do you think there's any upsets or like overachievers, breakout teams? I mean, we got NRG, Leverage, Tauntaun, Sea Dogs, Aftermath, Arsenal. We're kind of all on this dynasty, all on like a rebuild or a brand new team.
You just put yourself in the rookie class?
No, I put us on a rebuild schedule because there's also NRG Elite and Arsenal.
I just thought I heard
rookie.
Something.
Yeah.
Well, isn't NRG like a pretty much all a brand new team?
Pretty much, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I thought, and I'm asking to confirm because I thought they were, but I thought of all of the teams, of the newer teams, I thought that they looked the best.
They looked good. Verbal said they're all 1-point games, 4 OT losses.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, that really just shows like a lack of experience. And once they I guarantee you 4 overtime losses like that in a single tournament, they're teaching you something. Like they're gonna learn from those things, and hopefully we see, it would be great to see a team like that, do better. It's always nice to see the younger teams and the rookie teams do well. That's why it's pretty great for the sport that, FIT is doing well, because before that it was, the same 3 teams winning for a while, and then a 4th team jumped in there. So the last like 5 years, it was only 4 teams winning, and then now PB Fit is kind of like, stopped that. So it's nice to see them do well and take teams into overtime. I really think that right now our league is probably the hardest it's ever been, I think, because there's some teams you just counted out. Like one of them, I can say this out loud and I eat my words. Like Energy Elite, like I didn't think that team was ever gonna do any good. I thought they would be literally a bottom 2 team for the whole year. So it's good to see these younger teams and these younger kids do well because it's just better for the sport. It's never good when you like see your bracket and you go, man, some of these games like we shouldn't even be playing against these teams. You know, like no one wants to say that, and like they're easy for the fans, and then the fans aren't watching them. And it shows, like no one's really in the stands when those teams are playing, because you just already expect what's going to happen. Like there was no upsets, really. I mean, I guess the Sea Dogs beating Aftermath.
I was looking at all of these, right? Aftermath beating Diesel, I would say was an upset.
Yeah, especially after we beat up on Rab.
But to me, like I even still don't think that that's an upset, because I think that Aftermath can be a good team. They're the same core guys that they've had for the past almost 3 years now. So like at some point they need to start producing.
Well, they lost 4 guys, but I think that their pickups were really good. I didn't get a chance to watch any of their games.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the Tauntauns, FSU?
I thought the Tauntauns were going to be a better team.
Dude,
like,
they
really
trounced us in practice.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like they looked so good in practice, and I was hyping them up, telling everyone like, man, watch out for Tauntauns. Like I was talking to X Factor guys. I was like, and they looked really good in practice.
Their only win was against NRG Elite in overtime by 1.
Okay, I'll be the guy to say it from practice, because why not keep it blunt and honest? Those guys played on a lot of bounces.
I will. Yes, I agree with you. I was just going to say that. I was
not
just
calling
going
them
to
out.
say
They're
that.
great, but sometimes they get bounced square in the chest and they're moving. Go, and you're like, yeah, I guess play on, but that was a mistake, right?
Yeah, and then they don't learn.
I noticed that the whole time. I even saw guys get bounced right in the lens in the snake, like some of their second string guys, and it's like, all right, man, I guess keep going down the snake and shoot everybody. Sure.
Yeah.
And I think they will be really good, but I mean, the one match they beat the shit out of us, I was like, all right, well, there was 2 bounces off break. There's 2 bounces off.
Yeah.
There's a guy getting bounced in the face. So what should this match really be?
That's a good point.
I mean, it was the same thing when we practiced them too. Like they were coming to me after every point, like, you bounced me. I bounced 2 of you in 1 point. I'm like, all right, we'll just chalk this up to whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. Also, I mean, I wonder if they're telling their coach that, or the coach is just like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think.
No, I was good. I made it.
Do.
What?
I don't think many people do. Like, especially people who are fighting for a spot. Like, I guarantee you, there's not people telling their coaches, like, especially if they're sitting in dangerous spots. Like, no, I'm the guy that's sitting in this dangerous spot, but I never got killed. I didn't get killed all weekend, but he didn't tell him the 10 times he got bounced in that spot, you know. So it's like, I just don't think many people are doing that, especially when they're fighting for a spot.
Dude, this is the difference that I've learned now climbing to this part of the echelon, is the guys who actually hold themselves accountable generally help the team win. The guys who are fighting for their playtime, maybe they get more playtime. Maybe their team even does good, but they normally don't go all the way.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you cheat in practice, like you are really, really hurting your team, because it's impossible for the coach to know exactly what's going on in the game. Did a game plan work? Did we successfully achieve it? Because if you're cheating in those spots, or not telling them that you got bounced running to a spot or going to wherever or sitting in a dead zone, then your coach never has a really good idea of if a play was successful or not. It's really, really important to like understand this. And I always tell this to like the younger players. You know, in the tournament, it's a different thing. You're playing for money. You're playing for a lot more. But in practice, these things are important for yourself, and they're important for the coach and the team as a whole to understand what is it that we can actually achieve and what can we accomplish on this field. So if like you're just lying about, hey, I made this move work, but in reality, you got bounced or you cheated or whatever it is, then the coach thinks that in the tournament, hey, we can run these plays, but in reality, no, you really couldn't, because that wasn't there because you cheated or you got bounced or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, it's like, it's the idea of embellishment, right? You want to show that you're worth something, and so you got to be like, no, I made it clean. Yeah, it's good. I can do this, because you really want to believe in yourself. But again, you're just absolutely hamstringing your team quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which is the big one, I think on that. I've got a question.
Like adding to like the I don't know, success just in general to teams that are having success is selflessness is like a big part of the recipe. Like people that are just like, you know, what is it going to take? What do my teammates need? What do I need to do? What do I need to like not like, I don't know, kind of like not embellish your ego and I need playtime or you know, whatever it may be. And then just like contributing through, like how many times you guys have all probably for sure experienced this where you like go play a spot after you've been playing like a layout for like 2 or 3 days and you're like, why didn't you tell me that this was here like this? Like this was important information for me to know, you know, like bouncing those ideas back or like, you know, hey, you've been struggling with this portion, but you never like, you just kept it to yourself, like stuff like that. That bridge of communication, I think is huge. And, you know, I think that's too, a lot like why besides FIT being able to play together and then how much they are playing and putting the work in, I think that's like another reason it's contributing to their success as well. Because they do that, have that line of communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that we, like our team, like Red Legion, we really struggle with. Because one, I mean, I'm the only one who doesn't speak Russian, right? So like in the pits and in our meetings, like our meetings will be, you know, an hour or 2 hours, but we are only speaking our language or my language, maybe for 20 minutes of it if it's 2 hour meeting. So I'm sitting there most of the time just on my phone waiting for translation to come. And then when translation comes, you know, I put my phone down and I'm ready and I'm attentive. But when I can't understand a single thing that's going on, because I'm sure they're talking about, you know, things that are like that, but the translation, it'll go for like 40 minutes and then translation for me will be like 30 seconds. And I'm like, that's not all we were talking about. There's no way it was 30 seconds. Yeah. But it's the same, you know, it's the same in the pit. You know, we come in the pit and they're literally, you know, arguing about what they're doing, what we're doing, whatever. And I'm sitting there like, okay, waiting for them to tell me what to do. But I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like there was a lot of times like on this event, like this is what I complained about. We go to the board where the coach is. One side of the box is the other team. And the other side is our team, what we're going to be doing the next point. But I never knew which side was us and what was them. So it was like, it was a struggle for me to like get on the same page. And it's just like, and then I'm asking Krill, like we're going out there 5 seconds. And I'm like, hey, which way are you shooting? Because for me, it was really important. Like Joe will even tell you, it was very important as the two on the Dorito side to know which way the tower was shooting on the break, because that told me what exactly I could get away with. Because if he was shooting Dorito way, I can be more greedy. I could play in the open because I didn't have to worry about, you know, shooting the wide guy. I can do a lot more stuff and have a little bit more freedom. So I was always like asking Krill like at 5 seconds, like, hey, what are you doing? So I can figure out what I'm doing. Because a lot of times I didn't even know what I was going to do out there. So I had to figure out what he was doing so that I can figure out what I'm doing and then tell Pasha what I'm doing. Like, hey, do this. So it was this event was like a nightmare for me because of that communication. Because as you guys know, a lot of the plays, like, yeah, you had like, you know, game plans, but a lot of what you wanted to do was based on a read or an audible on the box.
Totally.
And we just weren't doing that. Like I was doing it. I was doing it almost every point. I was doing a read or like really trying to mess up the other team, like showing that I'm in the dead zone, but I wasn't going to play the dead zone. I was doing the best I could to, you know, to play that mind game. But we did not do a good job as a team of playing that read and playing the audible. And I think that's what really hurt us in the tournament. That's what actually killed us. Like, that's what I truly believe. Like, that's what killed us.
Bro, I don't know when your birthday is, but I'm gonna send you this cool little invention. It looks like a Fire Stick remote, and you just hold it, and it auto translates for you.
Stop it.
Yeah. Okay. So
I have one for when I travel.
So we bought this. Yeah.
And you hold A, and they're speaking, and then it tells you, oh, we're gonna go to the back center, and then you hold B and say shit, and then it translates back out in Russian. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so we tried that. So there's actually these earphones, and it's an app. So you put the earphones in, and you put your phone or whatever like on the table, and it literally translates as it goes. So there will be talking, and then the robot or whatever, the AI, will translate it in my ear. But for long-winded, and especially when like with slang too, it was not working properly. Like it just wasn't working. Like for quick conversations, it worked perfectly. Like, hey, how are you doing? Like, oh, do you like playing this spot or whatever? Like it worked for stuff like that. But when conversations were going for like 20, 25 minutes, it did not work as well as you think it would.
Gotcha.
Like they bought something like that specifically for me so I could wear it and like try to be in the meetings like with them, but
gotcha.
It seems like the tech is just not there yet.
Or well, I mean, that's pretty cool though that it's that at that level though.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing, but it's just not at the level of what we need it for. Unfortunately,
we'll get there. I guess for now, just do your best for the gear.
Oh man. Yeah, that's tough. And you're right, J-Rab. This field in particular was so important for that. Especially because you were the only guy in the back center a lot of the times. Obviously, if there's two of you, and there's only one guy running to the tower also, it's like, which way are you shooting? Because it's a 50-50 chance of where we're making it. And that's kind of what we did against you guys is we went in on the read where if you sent two in that blind zone, we wouldn't run wide. If you guys had two in the back center, we would run to the snake and just kind of cross our fingers that Kirill was shooting three away. Because the back center had zero vision on the snake, especially if there's a guy running to that tower straight in front of him. So we had a pretty good opportunity, and as long as we shot a little bit of paint at you, we knew that you guys had to respect the Dorito side because the only guy that could see him was the tower.
Right.
So that was kind of an interesting read is when people are playing the layout. If there's a guy in the back center and he can't see the snake, he can only see the corner. So definitely don't run to the corner. That was the toughest.
One thing I was going to say too about the Tauntauns, you guys mentioned that earlier. I stepped away, but in my opinion, I think like the Dorito side was really good for Fedorov. I think he should have played over there versus the snake side that was kind of more of a standstill side.
Mm-hmm.
But because you could get sneaky over there.
I agree.
Here, let me ask you this question from Junior from BFP Gear, and it'll be good for both J-Rab, obviously staying on the Russians with that is a high budget team, and great for Joe, who had offers that he turned down to kind of take a pay cut to play for us. Appreciate that, Joe. But Junior and BFP Gear sponsor question of the day, of the week, I guess you'd call it, because it's once a week. But he said this offseason saw more teams investing heavily to build the best rosters possible. In some cases, even weakening other top teams. Look at us. Given that, why do you think the Tampa final featured PB FIT and Dynasty, two teams known for more of their passion and chemistry rather than high salaries? So what do you think? I don't know who wants to go first. I mean, Kyle, this is good for you as well. I mean, I think it's great that you guys are.
I can go first on this.
Yeah.
Look, the bottom line is money doesn't buy wins. It doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more intricacies and a lot more that go into every single team, and chemistry is like the biggest thing. Like the reason why you guys Dynasty continues to do so well, no matter how many players you lose or how many new players you gain, you guys have a good core group that's always been there, and that literally can tell those guys, hey, this is the way that we play paintball, and everybody buys into that system. So the chemistry is like really easy to flow because everybody's kind of on that same page of like, hey, this is how the team is run, and if you don't buy into that system, you're not going to last very long here. So as a pro player, it's in your best interest to try to fit yourself into that group. And that's what builds that chemistry, so fast. There's a reason why when I was on the team with AC Diesel, we didn't have, big success. We had zero chemistry, and everyone on the team would agree with that. Now, after a few years, the same roster, you're starting to see them do better. They're just playing better as a team. That chemistry is finally starting to click. And it's a reason why, me, like the Russians, the Red Legion before, they made 0 Sundays in every single tournament, and then the next year we win 2 events, take a third, take a fourth, and take a third, I think, with just 1 player added. It's really, I already knew the system before. The system didn't change. It was exactly the same. So I was able to come in and immediately understand what was going on, clicked with the group really fast, and we had success because of that, and we're continuing to have success. But money just doesn't buy great teams or anything like that. There's really a lot more that goes into it, and a lot of the fans don't realize that. You buy the best players, you're going to have the best team. Like, everyone thought that Impact was going to be the team to beat all year, but I'm sitting over here thinking, like, and watching, like, okay, well, let's see how they do first. Let's see how they practice. Let's see how the chemistry happens. Are people going to start blowing up on each other if they don't do well? Because I'm sure there's pressure within the team and from fans on the outside saying, with this team that you have, if you don't win, then you're a failure, right? So it's really like, are they going to implode, or are they going to learn from this event and do better and learn from that and like create that chemistry, or is it going to implode within themselves? I guess we'll have to wait to see. But teams like FIT, it's important to see because they've been together for so long. It's been the exact same guys on that team for almost 6-7 years now, that they've been the same exact roster. When you're with the same guys for that long, like, you're going to figure it out.
I mean, it's like looking at Dynasty's success, even as they change the team.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because they have that core group of guys. So no matter who you plug and play into those spots, those core group of guys are easily going to be able to figure that out and help those players, hit the ground running, like coming onto the team and going, hey, this is how it's done. And everyone buys into that system. It's really like buying into the system and buying into what the coach is saying and believing in everybody that's on the team, whether you think that they suck or not, right? It's trusting everybody that no matter when they go out there, that they're going to produce, and it's having that belief in everybody next to you. And if you have even the slightest of doubts, like even the slightest, I'm sure we've all been there. We've all been there on that team where one guy on the team, like, he might be a little bit of a cancer, right? Or like he might blow up when things go bad or when things go south and start yelling at people, and all of that spreads like that seed, that little bit of seeded doubt. And once that's in everybody's brain, man, it is so hard to come back from that. It really is. So like, chemistry is like such a big thing, and I'm obviously going off on a tangent now, but really, like, I mean, that's the bottom line is chemistry is what builds team, time is what builds team, and trust is what builds team. It's not money. It never has been, and it never will be. So I mean, that's just the bottom line, really.
Yeah, Joe, what are your thoughts on it? Because I do want to point this out, and sorry, Joe, to take some time away from you, but dude, when preface with Joe is, I'm so glad that you made that phone call to us and said, hey, can you guys have a minute to talk? I really want to get in your ear about possibly playing with you guys, taking the initiative. And we talked about this before. That takes a lot, but also, like, you and I talked briefly, and you were like, what should I work on? What do I need to work on? I'm like, dude, honestly, everything's great. I would just say fall into the role, like become the leader and the quarterback, because we need it, right? We just need more guys. And you immediately were like, done deal. And then you were kind of interrupted, like a lot of us, and a lot of guys, it takes a little while to get a courage to kind of be like, all right, Ryan and Alex, like, shut up. This is what I'm seeing between you guys. You guys are talking about the same thing, or you guys are doing this. Like, we need to go back on track. And Joe, like, you really fell into that role. I mean, within 2 weeks of kind of like playing with us. And I think that's like such a high level thing. And so I appreciate, and I wanted to say that to you as well. Like, it was really cool to be able to see you kind of like immediately interject and be like, guys, we were wasting our time.
I just want to, too, before you go, Joe, give myself credit since Ryan's not going to give me credit.
Thank
I
you,
wanted
Kyle.
I wanted you on Diesel, and then when I was thinking it wasn't probably going to happen, Ryan was like, I don't know who we should get. And I was like, get Joe. It's going to be good. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, get Joe. And then after, he's like, Joe's fucking good.
I appreciate it.
I'm happy. Yeah.
You credit deserve both of you. I appreciate it. It's easy to be a good teammate and be yourself around other good teammates that are honest and hold each other accountable. And you know, Kyle, I've played for a team now that you coach, so I know you're similar, right? I guess back to how I answer the question. I think there's two things that I want to point out about this, about why these teams like FIT or like what Dynasty is, or you know, stuff like that are working a little bit better than a team that's like being bought to win and doesn't immediately. And here's the thing that I think people don't know unless you're on the inside, like we as the players know, is that the difference between like the top 50% of the league individually is like very, very minute. You know what I mean? Like we did timed and statistical drills in Mexico, and the difference between, you know, our ninth guy on the team and the first guy on the team was like fractions of a second in everything. With everybody being the same accurate, it was very, very close, right? So like, you know, I'd say all of us here on the screen can probably do all the same thing. It's not like any of us is physically limited. The only guy that I really can't say that I could just go play exactly like him is Malloy, because he's tiny and fast and he fits in different, you know what I mean? Like, but anybody else, it's like, all right, if you told me to do that, I'll probably do the same thing, right? So this idea of teams going, fuck yeah, let's just like buy these bunch of guys and they are going to be way better than we currently have. They're probably not much better. In fact, they might be about the same, but you saw them stunting out on a team and like showing to be their top guy. And then this is part two of it. And I saw this mistake so many times recently where, like, let me think back to the example when Impact picked up Tim Russellback. This is years ago, right? Tim is stunting out of his ass being an aggressive snake one, just getting down the field, bowling balling, either trading or getting people clean and shooting 2 or 3 more. And then Impact go, holy shit, that guy's fucking good. And then they bring him on and they're like, guess what? You're going to play short at this god and you're going to shoot 6 pods of bounce shot. And it's like, oh my God, dude, you picked up an attacking weapon and you put him into a role player spot. So I think this is kind of what not ruins teams, but it's the reason that some of these teams don't succeed, or at least immediately, because guys go, I'm going to buy all the very coolest weapons I can, and then they just don't let that guy be themselves. And on these teams where people have played with each other for years, well, guess what? That guy's already been himself for a while. And then when guys go to a team and they're all on the same page, they have the same intention, they're there for the exact same reason, not because of a job or because of this or because of that, they generally become themselves too. You know, like honestly, coming to Dynasty, I don't really think I got better overnight. You know, I mean, it's only been an off season, but I came in and Dynasty was like, just be you. And what I play fit into that role. So I just plugged in and I get to be me around, you know, maybe a better communicating team overall. And so then it kind of highlights, you know, somebody who was already doing that thing. And I think when teams have that, that's what makes better cohesion, better chemistry, better synergy. And that's how teams stay more successful.
I don't think, though, too, well, I'll play devil's advocate here a little bit. It's not just completely relying on like this monetary value that we're making, like buying. I think a big part of it too is the culture of your team, like, and because we're bringing up a lot of stuff here that's like, yeah, you bring a good, like a really strong elite player onto your team, but you're not allowing him to be creative. That's not relative towards the monetary value. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
You know, like maybe I know Impact System. Maybe Marcelo goes over there and they're like, no, you're just going to play how we want to. But I think they also bought in to allowing Marcelo a leeway as a new player to their team that they don't typically do, and that could have attributed to some of their success, you know, this weekend. I mean, I do agree, but like, Rad, you were on that Impact squad when you guys went on a run. Like, that wasn't like a homegrown team. That was a procured through monetary value team. I just think that, like, we can't completely say that. I think that it's, you know, that you can't buy your way. It's just like, you also need selfless people, and you have to, like, I think a big part of Dynasty's success is that everyone has like a rational level, logical mindset. And that contributes also to a lot of the success, because then individual players are not so much in their head because they feel comfortable around the people that they're with, which allows you to, like, play your best game. Maybe not everyone, but this is a longer conversation, but I think that kind of puts a good like enough detail on it.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I think Impact played great this event. They lost by 1 point to the same team that beat us, right? Like, I wasn't thinking about any specific team. It was just kind of listing overall why it's like, well, how come those teams just don't come in and go right to winning? It's like, you know what? If they're created right and everyone is there feeling comfortable to be themselves, they probably will end up winning. But why they don't win immediately when there's, like, you know, just this team like Paintball fit across the field is it's like that team just has that brotherhood already. You know, there's already that trust that the other teams are, no matter what, still have to work to build. And I think that Impact that J-Rab was part of was good at that, building the relationship too. Because, I mean, dude, Bart knew what he was doing. He was, you know, he was bringing those guys on fucking cruises and Euro trips and all this other shit.
That was tight, dude.
They're creating core memories together, and all of those peak experiences are making them tighter in the trenches. You know,
fast tracking.
Also, it took us 2 years before we even won an event. Like, when we started building that team, when he started going out and getting players, it took us 2 years before we even won. So, like, I mean, 2 seasons is a long time, especially when, you know, you're trying to put together and you're paying players and the monetary value. Look, I am one of those players that gets paid, you know, very well to play paintball, but and so I always get upset when, like, because I heard someone in the crowd, the game was over, and I think it was after our match. Someone said something to Ryan, something about they were talking shit to Impact or something, saying about Marcelo. I don't remember exactly what was said, but they said something about going to Impact and getting paid and whatever. And it was obviously they were, you know, talking shit about Marcelo and, like, saying it to Ryan, like he shouldn't have left, he's an idiot or whatever they said. And it always upsets me, because players getting paid in our sport is a good thing for our sport.
Agree.
When you see when parents see that, hey,
100%.
okay, my kid isn't wasting his time, he has an opportunity to make a good living for himself. And then also, on the other hand, these kids see the same thing. They are going to put their time, their hard work, and their time into a sport where they know that they're going to get a monetary value out of it. If there's literally nothing to gain, like, no one's going to put that time. It's like, for a while, it's why we didn't see any, like, new rookies and new players coming in. But now you're seeing a whole new wealth of players. Paintball right now is at its peak, maybe not talent-wise, but it's at its peak in terms of players. And I was talking to Tom about this. They're having a problem with too many people. They're going to have to turn away teams at World Cup this year. Yeah. And that's sad. You know, that's a sad thing to hear, that they have to turn away players. But it's, on the other hand, it's very important that the players that are at the top of the level are getting paid for their time and their hard work. And because that's what creates new players coming in. Because if that's not there, no one is going to want to play or continue to play our sport. They're going to go and do something else. They're going to play golf or baseball whatever it is. They're going to skateboard. Because there's monetary value in it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think haters suck, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
if I could just say it, haters suck because sure, we all want the blue collar boys who are, farm raised in their backyard to win. It's a sweet underdog story, but you can want that and still be happy for the people that have figured out a way to make this a living.
Yeah.
You deserve to make money. Kyle, you deserve to make money on the career you've had. Ryan, you deserve every bit of the millions you've turned down to do what you're doing, right? Marcelo earned his money. I deserve money at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it from Dynasty, and I'm fine with that. But all of us who
We'll
have
get you paid next year,
literally, that wasn't the point. But all of us who have put away, 20 something years into this thing, like it'd be nice if not just team owners, but if like the league or ESPN or something just gave us like a measly living wage, right? So we don't have to also break our backs at jobs and take away time from family and kids and blah, blah, while killing ourselves at this silly physical sport. But it's not there yet for everyone. So you know what? Be happy for the guys that are getting it. Be stoked that they can like take care of their family, and also still be stoked for that, team out of Texas that isn't paid and wins tournaments. It's both things are great.
Yeah.
For
Both
sure.
things are great for the sport. We need it. Otherwise, just no new players, because really it's going to come down to the parents.
Yeah.
Parents are going to go, okay, do I want my kid, like it's the second that they see that the kid has an opportunity to be really good at the sport that they go, okay, can he actually do something with this? Can he support himself? Like, when he moves out or whatever, can he support himself? And do I have to worry about him? That's what parents do. That, they're going to worry about their kids and make sure that they're going to have the things that they need for success when they're out of the house. So if paintball looks like a sport that doesn't allow that or doesn't support that, parents will be turned off of that, and then they will not, they'll let their kid go and be a weekend warrior, buy him a Titan and whatever, but then it'll end there, right? They're not gonna be putting their money, spending their time out at the paintball field if they, if the kid is really serious about it, and there's no way that he can support himself further in life.
Yeah. And we've always been very big supporters of, as much as it stings, at times and whatnot, but very big supporters of any of our players leaving to get paid. As long as you're leaving, like, I mean, ideally you tell us first so we can help get you a better deal. Like that's what's happened with guys in the past. Like we'll put in a fake offer like we did to Dalton so that Damage paid them more, just be like, if Dalton's like, hey, or, I'm going to get offered this much. I'm like, Dalton, they offered me more. So tell them that we offered you an extra 10 grand and they'll match it, even though we didn't even come close to be able to pay it, but like, we're never going to be like, are you kidding me? You're going to go get, like, to Marcelo, you're going to get paid. I don't even know what it was, like 50, 80,000 bucks. Like that's bullshit, dude. You should stick with your friends for $10,000 and we'll go win another World Cup. Like no chance we're ever going to say something like that,
Yeah.
And that's the thing, dude. You've got to be supportive of people that are in a position to have life-changing events happen to them, whether it's good or bad for you personally. If it's good and beneficial to a friend and a teammate, and like, you should support them in that decision regardless. I mean, I want to say we've had probably 200 people that have played in the Dynasty organization, and a lot of them have left and a lot of them have come back and then left again. Right. And it's something like we always joke about it. Like I want to say, I'm pretty sure, before Mikey left after World Cup, last year, Alex was like, you guys, your phones are going to ring. We're at Charlie's. He goes, especially you, Mikey, like call me first.
Yeah.
Mikey didn't call.
Of course he didn't. So, the thing is, there's some people that are just, that are gonna be cowards, like they're not.
Well, it's not necessarily that as much. I mean, there's a possibility it's that, but it's also a pride thing, and a lot of people just don't want to ask for a handout from somebody who is like, I feel like hopefully people believe us when we can't afford to pay any extra loot, and it's funny because once Blake and Marcelo were like, all right, we're on the inner circle, we're rich now. We're like, no, you actually you get a tax deduction. And we might need to do a cash call if we run low. But you know, it's nice because I do believe that some people see at least some genuine feelings from us. Maybe not from me, but at least from Alex for sure. Where they're gonna say something like, "All right, you know, I believe that, and I don't want to ask him for more. I don't want to I just want to just take this and make it be done." You know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like when Tyler left, he was on bad terms with us. He was like mad at us, and I mean, it wasn't we would have tried to fix whatever it could have been, but we certainly could have gotten him more money, and that was the biggest thing, right? Is if you get an offer, like let us know, not because we're gonna try to submarine you, but because we're gonna try to get you a better offer, if it's either from us or from someone else. But you know, again. I think that's a big factor, you know.
That's real friend stuff.
Yeah,
friends
is.
Want what's best for their friends, whether it serves their interest or not. And the people who, when you leave or when you whatever, all of a sudden they're like, fuck you, or they don't pick up your phone call anymore, or they're shit talking on your back. It's like, oh, I guess we were really never friends after all, huh? It was just because we were, you know, fighting the same battle at that time, and that is some two-faced shit.
Well, it's really it's a respect thing. It's a respect thing too. And this is one thing that I was like really bad about, you know, years ago. It's something that I've learned from, because I didn't do these things. So it's like, to me, it's like very important to have that dialogue, whether you are going to, you know, leave or not. The owner who has literally put money into you, like as a player, you owe them that respect in saying, hey, these are what I have on the table. You know, if true. You can, I would love to, if you can do this, I would love to stay. If you can match it, I would love to stay.
Right.
But if you can't, then you have to understand that, you know, I'm coming to you first. I'm letting you know, because our sport is already so small, man. It is so small, especially at the high level, and the amount of people who are willing to pay and who are paying is small. So you do not want to burn any bridges with any of these guys. So it's very important to always give that respect, because they are investing in you. They're investing in you as a player. Like there's so much more that goes into it when they pick you up and they pay you for your time. So True. I mean, you owe them that at the very minimum, to give them that call and say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what's on the line. You know, I would love to stay if you can do this, you know, but if not, then I have to take this, because, you know, you have to support yourself. Right. So it's important that you do open up that dialogue, because they'll appreciate that more. And if the time comes where they want to accept you back onto that team, there is no bad blood. There's no burned bridge. And you'll be welcomed back onto that team with open arms.
And that comes with a level of experience and maturity. Maturity is the big one, right? Like try to tell 23-year-old Justin Rabikoff that.
Right, exactly. and that's the thing. Like I really lacked this. It was like one of the, ask Kyle. Like I was really bad at, you know, returning phone calls, texting even my closest friends, and it's something that I've really gotten better about over the years, and like just doing a much better job about communicating with people and giving them that respect, because, you know, if they're taking their time out of their day to text you or call you, the least you can do is respond and give that response. And so, like, even last year, you know, Joe had an opportunity to come and play with us, and I had a long conversation with him. You know, he's reaching out to me, you know, as a player and as another pro player, and so I felt I had to give him that respect and tell him, like, hey, you know, here's how the team works, and if it works for you, you know, we would love to have you, and blah blah blah, and like all of these things. So it's like, as a younger man and a young adult, I did not do any of these things, and I may have burned a couple of bridges with some people, and it's one of the things that in this sport in my life I definitely regret, because, like I said, it's so small that you can't be willing to burn any bridges or anything like that, and always be respectful to the people who could possibly be your employer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think honesty and transparency is always key,
Yeah.
But in this small of a sport, it is 100 times magnified because for anybody who doesn't know out there, hopefully you other, newer pros are listening. I don't know if it's like a WhatsApp chat or what, but there seems to be like a network amongst all the coaches and owners and they know what you're getting offered anyways. So you may as well keep it real because other people found out about the news about me recently before I found out. So like whatever you think is going to happen or you're going to like maneuver or whatever, just fucking keep it real. Like I promise you, there's no hiding anything in paintball.
Yeah, they're calling each other the second they get off the phone with you. Like 100%. They know exactly what you're getting, where you're getting it from, and everything. What you've been offered from other teams, whether it was 5 years ago or last month. They're all talking. They're all on the dime together. So just make sure that you are honest.
My group chat is Joey Blute and Ball for Soup. And FRAIGE. All right,
You're
guys, just locked in, Joe.
You're leaking everything, Ryan.
What's that?
You're leaking everything.
Everything, dude. It's been me this whole time. The whole beef between us has been manufactured. It's all a big smoke and mirrors diversion. Yeah. Check out these new ice goggles. The pictures were taken on my windowsill with snow in the background.
Ryan's good at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Is he actually?
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, I just don't care enough to tell anybody.
I know. I'm the same.
How did you not tell anybody about what?
Yeah.
Do you remember I told you this thing? I'm like, oh, you did?
I used to be really bad, but I'm getting better.
Okay.
Don't tell me secrets.
Joe might be the best storyteller. Joe is a reincarnation of Brian Cole, by the way.
Really?
Oh my god, to a T. Like an absolute to a T. Big old hands, like big old mitts, zero filter whatsoever. Like, no filter. He'll say the most outlandish shit and we'd be like, huh? And he's like, what? I mean, you can't really tell any of the stories that he told on air, but my god, you could sit down and he'll tell you a story about anything. And it's the funniest story you've ever heard. And it's shit that just doesn't happen to normal people. And that's always with BEC too. You're like, hold on, that happened to you? Like, wait, when? On like a Tuesday? Huh? After the Spicka Span Show?
He is the only person I've ever met that's gotten staff from just walking around barefoot.
I did not get staph. I promise to God. I've only had staph once. It was on my nose, and it was not like that. That's why I know. Also, the doctors.
Yeah. Okay.
A quick pivot on this one. What do you guys? Well, congratulations, actually, J-Rab. You clean sweep at the Summit Awards. Icon of the Year, Flex Player of the Year, Big Game Player of the Year, Division 4 Field Ref of the Year, which I thought that one came out of nowhere because I didn't think you had time for that.
That was of all the ones I was not expecting to win that one.
I know.
Wait, is that real? Actually?
Yeah.
No, it's not real. Not real. I mean, do you think that I would ever be out there reffing?
Joe, in between his matches, he's reffing.
Joe with my jokes left and right.
Wait, really?
I don't know, dude.
Well, congrats on that. What? I mean, you won 2 events last year, which is huge. I mean, your performance, I could say that, at the Atlantic City event was like absolutely textbook on how to play like from that flex player, but like that support role. That was excellent job. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. What did you think about the summit?
Man, I thought the summit was really cool. Like it was packed in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it got to the point like when they started doing the awards, like there wasn't much standing room. Like
right.
you had to squeeze through to like get to the stage. Like there was no room anywhere. It's like even on the up on the top floor and the bottom floor, like no matter where you were.
Anywhere in there, Rob.
I know. We need to put a balloon on you. No, but it was really awesome. Like honestly, obviously the venue when it comes to Vegas, like you're not topping that. You know, you're not topping that. Like but it was. I thought it was more well done in terms of like how they did the awards and because when we were there and they were giving out the awards at the first one that you guys did last year, at least I think that was the first one, I didn't even know that awards were being given out. Like, you know, the mic was like really bad. So like from last year. So everything compared to this year was like an upgrade, like a step up. Everything was like a little bit more smoother, you know, everybody was more involved, whereas like last year's like people were kind of like at the back bar, not really paying attention, but everybody was involved, like even from the top row, everyone was like watching. And so it was a much better event than it was last year. So I really appreciated like everybody coming out to support. And I thought it was great. Like I'm really excited to see, you know, the how the show evolves, you know, each year. Because I think it's only going to get better, you know, like with stuff like that, you're going to have the kinks that you have to work out. But I'm excited to see how the show and the awards show gets better each year.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really hope that they're able to make it an 18 and over at least kind of thing. I mean,
for next time?
Yeah, obviously you need some libations, but it would be great, and there would certainly be a bigger tournament turnout if you're able to be in there at 18, even if they had like a section. Especially what if you're nominated for an award and you can easily be a breakout player of the year or on team of the year, breakout team of the year, those types of things, and be under 21.
I don't know what
21 and up.
It was 21 and up.
21 and up. Yeah.
Oh, because I saw some people in there that were not 21.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Who are you pointing at? Sure isn't me.
Not any of you.
You're pointing at the people in the crowd.
The jig's up. I'm actually 17, Ryan.
not any of you guys.
Well, look, I don't know what they you know paid for a venue like that. I have no idea what the numbers would be on something like that. But you know, like a hotel hall where you could just do beers. Like it doesn't need to be a full liquor bar or convention center, something like that. Again, I am not the guy because I don't know the numbers.
I was just about to say I could direct you to. I know the owner of the league pretty well. I could direct you. I could put you in charge of maybe running that whole thing next year.
I think between Tom and Trojan, I think they're so sick of hearing me talk to them because every time I'm in their face, I'm always complaining about something to them, and like not complaining really, but like saying, hey, these things can be better. This can be better. This can be better. Why aren't we doing this? Like, doesn't even make sense. Blah blah blah. And I'm always talking about format changes and refs. Like Tro's got to be so sick of me.
Trust me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing they probably want is for me to go up to me and like, listen, I need a job, and because you guys suck at this. Like, I'm sure they don't want me doing that. I'm already in their ear enough, bro.
Yeah, me too. I complain about everything. It's just every so often you gotta be like, dude, this was actually really cool, and they're like, wow, I've never. Yeah, that's nice. It's the classic abuser, abusee thing. It's
right.
Like you're like constantly, like, oh, and then you're like, wow, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's nice. He can say something nice, and then you go back to abusing.
The next hour.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to bring up something important. It's just a conspiracy, so I'm not gonna press it too hard. But I think, and it's not, I don't know, maybe if it's just an outlier, maybe if there's any media people working directly with any teams to Bird Dog, I think that might have happened to me, or that might be going on. I just wanted to state that.
You're saying media people?
Yeah, I mean, there was a point when we were playing damage. I got into the snake, and I thought that I was going to get in undetected, and so I looked as I'm diving up. Nobody saw me. As I'm crawling up to the snake, right when I get to that snake 3 laydown, where that bounce shot was crazy, and you couldn't even go past that laydown, literally as I was getting there, all of a sudden paint just started ripping through. Like as I'm crawling up to it. Like perfect time.
I was sitting on the sidelines watching that point, and I was actually really mad at you during that point because you took yourself completely out of the game to yell at whoever you were yelling at.
I just needed to prove a point.
So one, I was like pissed at you for doing that because it's like, bro, like you can't be doing that in a game on Sunday, and then or whatever game it was. But then the second thing was a timing thing. Like you got in, you crawled. It's not like you crawled straight there. Like there was enough time, and like those players on the other side, because it was against damage, are good enough to know. Okay, we haven't seen this guy in a while. There's got to be someone on this side. We know Mouse is on this side, so someone had to have got in the snake. And the only thing you could do on that side was shoot the bounce shot. Like it's not like you could predict where he was. Like, oh, I'm gonna hope that he's gonna come over the top, or I think I'm gonna catch him crawling here. No, your best option was to just shoot the bounce shot. Well, so like normally I would agree with you something like this, but like on that field, like I mean that's all I did.
I do want to say too that like after I said that, Joey came up to me after we walked through and shook hands, and he was like, I swear to God on everything, I did not do anything like that. Honest to God. And I have a good relationship with Joey and I believe it. But that I mean, if there's another deal that's set up with someone else that unbeknownst to Joey's knowledge, then that could be the situation. It just seemed a little bit weird. Obviously, you know, I can handle it differently.
Yeah. So what? You in a point cursed out a camera guy for?
No. I didn't say anything to the camera guy.
What was the taking yourself out of the game?
I got into the snake.
He yelled at Joey.
I looked into their pit and I was like, I'm literally laying in the snake and I couldn't crawl, but no one knew I got in the snake. And I was about to go to their side, shoot everyone. But right as I crawled up to that main gap where the 50 brick is to go around the inside, they just started shooting there for 45 seconds. And so as I'm sitting there waiting for it to stop, I'm looking in the pit and I'm like, you assholes, I know what you did. Like nobody.
He's like yelling at Joey from the Snake 4. And I'm sitting there like this, like shaking my head like, oh my God, Kyle, I cannot believe you're doing this right now.
Oh, that's great. Get him.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I have to clear something up, clear the air here in the chats because the PB Fit clan is in here screaming at me. I started. So as I believe her name's Chanel, because now I figured this out in the Android. I told her in the stands that I liked her jokes, and as a matter of fact, I opened my entire speech with "Congrats to the Fit guys," and that I'm proud of those guys. I think it's great. Congratulations to all the winners. And then I said, and I really appreciated the Fit hecklers because I don't know who you are, because I think that your content and your what you guys are saying is great. I thought it was hilarious. You guys, I think one of the things was like, hang it up because the Spicka Span Show sucks and you're never funny unless you lose or something like that. And so I said, I would hate to be a barista in a 10-mile radius of that lady because I'm sure that she heckles at the people all the time. And then when everybody laughed, I said, oh, and look at that. It looks like even though I do lose, I can still be funny. And so that was then. And then I said, I'm sure there's been plenty of baristas that have gotten hot coffee thrown in their faces as a result of their order being made wrong. I was then going to pair that with, if you or anybody you know has been emotionally or physically hurt by the trauma, that you should call the resident lawyers, Pate Smith or Chris Law, both of whom are in attendance. That was what I entered the whole entire thing with, because I was being heckled by you for the entire match, and I appreciated it, which is also why I started this episode with, I appreciate your heckling. I think it's great. It's classy. It's funny. What I don't tolerate is intolerance. So if you guys would like to go back to the beginning and listen to that rather than chirping in here saying that I said something that I didn't say. It's annoying. It's super annoying. You're the type of person who reads the headlines and not the meat of the story and judge the entire message from just the tagline. So I appreciate you and what you do and the fact that you guys come to the events and you are in there supporting your team. That's fucking great. I would say just keep it classy. I didn't say anything about you in particularly saying anything bad. I just said there were people in the stands on the contrary that said really hurtful things to some people out there. Not you, but that was also all in the very beginning of my opening here. So just be classy.
Is she the one that does like the chants? Those solo chants?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard.
And
I've never seen her face though.
No. And so
I don't know what she looks like.
When we were warming up, she said something. And I gave her the thumbs up, and I started laughing because it was funny. I was like, "These are great." I can't imagine if your cheers are PG. I've never said that you in particularly, and I call all of the people because I don't know who you are. I say all of the PB Fit moms and people who are shouting at people, some of whom are classy and some of whom are not. I don't know which ones are which. Thanks. But I did hear from the Blast Camp guys that some people were very sad on that team of some of the things that were hurtful that were said by some of the hecklers. I don't know who it is. I've just only experienced it, and I don't know who's who. But look, you can choose to be what you like to be. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'll have your back on this, Ryan, because I got to play pretty much every point with you this event, and I remember going out there. Some of us other guys are like, just tune it out, just be in the pits, and you were like laughing, like you were having a good time that first point. Oh, like this is good, like
I think it's great.
It's fun chirping, and so I think the lesson there is, if you're gonna dish it out, be able to take it back. If you're gonna chirp all game, and we're like laughing it off, and then someone gets to make like a pretty friendly, easy joke. When they get the chance back, it's like when you're at a roast, like, dude, it's just jokes.
No, they said that I told people to throw hot coffee in her face. That's what they're saying in this chat thing. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Some jackass in here was like, oh, you're going to be an ambassador for the sport and you're going to tell people to throw a hot coffee in her face? Like, what are you talking about, dude? I never said any of that.
People love to take shit out of context.
Well, and here's the thing, right? I was presenting, and actually, even for Mike Jeffries, I feel bad because we were there for the Summit Awards, right? Justin won an award, and I presented in the very beginning for about 30 minutes, and the entire time people were talking, right? Which is okay. Yeah. Like, okay, let's just chat a little bit. But if you're sitting front row, and just because you or somebody you care about isn't up there, pay some goddamn respect and listen, and then maybe you'll hear the joke. The joke won't be drowned out, right? Until you actually pay attention that someone was talking about you. That's when you want to listen to what's going on. And then, time to move on. Thanks, Wiles. You're right. Oh, gosh. There we go. Let's just go ahead and, put you in timeout. There you go. All right. Anyway, I do want to thank you guys again very much for coming on. I do have a bit of a hard stop time tonight. Justin, every time that you come on, it's an 11 out of 10. A bunch of people in there said that they love having you on every time. And we talk about it. We're like, dude, you need to come back on more. But I'm glad that you actually did.
Too. They always love having you on.
Yeah, and they did some. You did say that you're going to start answering your phone a little bit more too.
Say it again.
Oh, Justin's like, I'm gonna be answering my phone more. I'm gonna be, like, I'm in it. I'm on it. Like,
yeah, you can call me and I'll answer.
All right, tight. Yeah.
He gets mad at me if I don't answer, but it's just payback for like 3 previous years.
And Joe, you too. We need maybe we need to figure out a way to make a good story of like one of the type of stories that you were giving us, but like a good one that we can tell to like the world, and we'll just have like story time with Joe once a month.
Yeah,
you guys, it's just
good.
like, it's so good.
Let me know how PG you need it, or like the context.
That's live on YouTube. It says all ages.
Yeah, probably extremely PG.
And then just so you guys know, the inductees, the guys who made it into the Hall of Icons this year: Ron Kilborn, Richie Malacheski, Rosie from Ground Zero, Rob Staudinger, Gary Noblet, Opie Thomas, and Marcus Nielsen. His dad was up there to accept his award at the end. We did a nice little speech for everybody. I know the mic was kind of a little hot, but yeah, it was a really good class. Lots of image guys now making it back onto the top. So I look for that to happen again next year. The voting for the inductees is over usually in Chicago is when we get to all the names, and we kind of create the jackets and the awards and stuff like that, and kind of write some things up. And it's a really cool opportunity that I have to be able to do that. And I'm happy that people are receiving it.
Let me ask you a
well.
question about this, Ryan. Now, I know you have a hard stop. Do you have like 5 minutes?
No, go for it.
Do you think that there was too many awards given out? Like it kind of like diluted what it meant to win an award?
Well, yes and no, right? So you're saying just like the fact that you almost everybody got a participation award in this? Is that what you're kind of...
it felt like it was going forever, and it was like some of them I didn't even understand what they were.
Yeah,
like it was like, okay, I guess
we're
clapping again.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little insight into why and what was going on and why. I mean, I know we're kind of joking about the divisional side of things, but like in the guys that came in from the scenario side and the fields. But the idea is that it's kind of our own ESPYs to a certain extent, right? And paintball isn't just tournament paintball, right?
Of course. And I understand that.
So in an effort to kind of really bridge the gap and to allow to like bring it kind of like, it's really bridge that gap. Like we want people to come, and that's why the Vegas one was such a special one, because there were all these people coming in to like attend the summit, and then a lot of these guys going in, like hopefully you come in on Sunday if you're getting an award or you're nominated, you get VIP tickets, and the idea is to like really bring this experience and bring it together. Were there too many awards? I think that there were a lot of them, but there are different categories for everything, right? Mm-hmm. Our side of things, like when we zoom into the tournament side, it's like, okay, we want to have the breakout player, I think, is important, like a rookie of the year kind of thing. The best player in the world, like each if you're gonna have an offensive player guy, you gotta have a flex, you gotta have a defense. So I think the pro categories, and then you got to do everything for the WNXL, rightfully so as well. And then I think it's important to the people who are receiving the awards to be nominated, to even know that they can be. I think just kind of, I know we joked about the divisional side of things quite a bit, but it's rough over there. I mean, we've all talked about just walking over at World Cup to the divisional sides. It's like a FEMA kind of event, and it's like people are just like sleeping on the ground. There's like trash everywhere. The porta potties are overflowing. But look, like it's the lifeblood of our sport, right? It's not just about us. Of course. And I think that that's incredibly important, that we really look out for everybody that is across the board, and it's not just like, all right, let's make sure that the pros get our shine, so kind of like, can they do away with the 3 different sections of the East Coast field of the year, Midwest, Southwest? Like, yeah, we don't need all that. But it's so if you're a smaller organization and you're nominated for something like that, or even just like that's a big thing for a lot of people. Like think of this, like I'm a smaller Midwest field, and my field's nominated, and like I get to go share the stage with Justin Rabikoff or Ryan Greenspan or insert like that type of player. Like it is big for a lot of people, and I think and some people are kind of bummed on the snubbery, and there's only so many different categories that we can do, and you can't be in every single. Ryan Greenspan can't be in every single one of them. But if you're a videographer and a photographer and a creator, it's like there's only so many different types of. You can't put the same person in everything, unfortunately. I know everybody's like a big jack of all trades, but like I said, I voted for Brad from Paintball Ruined My Life, and I voted for Colt as Icon of the Year. And I know you were kind of taken aback by that, Justin, but I really did, because I think that like those guys are deserving of it. And I think it's inspiring how he plays and for his size and what he does, and he's a big personality, and I think that's really cool. I've also won it, and we don't care about plaques over here at the Spick and Span Show. We don't care about awards.
Real quick too,
Yeah,
a lot of people were asking before we jump off here too.
Oh
what
yeah,
did we
let's do that.
about the finals format. You guys
I played it.
You guys played in it, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. I was stoked that they added the extra 15 or 20 minutes onto the entire day, and then we're like, hey, can you be at the summit in an hour to present all these awards? I was like, tight. Yeah. It honestly wasn't that bad. It was actually, I feel like, almost even a little bit easier, you could argue, to add, because instead of playing 15 minutes straight, you play 10 minutes and then you have an 8-minute break and then you play another 10 minutes. I wasn't like tired or gassed or anything. I felt pretty good. I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
I love halves. I think it's nice to actually get a real set amount of time to be like, okay, what has happened overall, big picture? What are they kind of scripting here? How are they trying to play this field throughout the match, not just point at a time? What's our answer? And then maybe you're a second half team. I think that's a lot better than how paintball's been in the past decade or so, where it's like you could go up 2 or 3 and then just really slow burn it away. And especially in that last game when it's not split deck, you feel like you don't really have time to like dissect and analyze. I miss full X ball. I don't think we need to play for a full hour, but a lot of what I missed about it is just by dividing it in halves. So I really enjoyed 2 10-minute halves, and honestly, the extra 4 minutes didn't really seem that noticeable. It wasn't like our game was super high scoring or anything. So I hope they stick with it.
Was the 10-minute halftime too long?
Too long each half?
No, the
the
8 minute. It was 8 minute.
Oh, it was 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Yeah, the break.
The break could probably be, what do you think, Ryan? Cut down to like 5 minutes?
5 minutes is fine.
Yeah, because we talked about it. We're like, okay, that's how we'll adjust. Cool. And then there's like another 3 or 4 minutes where you're kind of like waiting.
Yeah.
And you almost feel like you're getting iced, and they are too. So it's not like it's an advantage, but there's part of you that's like, all right, let's get back out there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to see it. Did they do some sort of show or entertainment during this time, during the break?
No, it was it's a proof of concept. They do. Yeah. they had the cheerleaders from the Bucks stage. No, I think that this is a proof of concept for what they want to do for TV. They originally were going to have us wear these giant GoPros on our heads. There's regular size GoPros. I think they were mounted differently than how you guys wore them, Justin. But this was all proof of concept for what they're going to do at the next event for the ESPN show.
Okay, so we're doing that again for the next event?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And if they need the 8 minutes so that there's more of a time for Maddie or whoever to tell the story in between, be like, whoa, what a first game. Let's go back and see some highlights and some replays and see how it got to this. Okay, what's going to be the answer? How do they get back into it? That's cool. Then if you need the full 8 minutes, I'm about it because it's good, what's good for the sport, right?
And they got to change out all the batteries in the GoPros. That's the real
that
reason.
probably helps too.
You get J-Rab in there, the score is going to be 25-13 with his team.
The thing that I think they could add to that it would pair well is, because my own parents brought this up, is I wish they would make it a little bit more of an entertainment type spectacle for the people that are there. Like, why is there not, cheerleaders would be great, whatever, but why is there not somebody who, instead of just announcing it to Go Sports and the viewers at home, why is there not somebody on the microphone right after the point ends going, whoa, PB Fit just tied it back up with a huge play on so-and-so, and kind of amping up all those people in the grandstands and like the VIP area.
Like shooting shirts out.
Yeah, no, it would be cool if they did link up.
Or some
Maddie.
guy breathing fire.
Yeah,
fireworks.
Well, no, you know what'd be great at the 8 minutes is like if they did a quick like all-star game or one-on-one thing, or like they did something where like a Mexican standoff kind of thing or something. It'd be like something paintball related where people just played on that Dorito side, just quick one-on-ones, like blah, 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 like it's like the juggler comes out.
The one thing that I never understand why they don't have is like when a buzzer's pressed. Okay, when you're like you go to a concert or whatever, and they do like it's like a sparklers, like giant
pyrotechnics.
Sparklers.
We need more pyrotechnics. No, we're big on pyrotechnics here.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Like that to me seems like it would be so easy and it would be like more of a highlight. People would get more excited and whatever. It's just like there's some things that should be like you think about and you're like, why aren't they doing this? And it's like they're so obvious.
Yeah. The formula is already there.
Nothing is being done.
Imagine in that point where Joe stole the win against the Ironman. He jumps over the buzzer, hits it, and then all the pyrotechnics blow him up. He's laying on the ground just on fire.
And he lands on the mortars.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be mortars. He couldn't do mortars.
All
right, so we're gonna get on a call after this with Jason, with Tom, and Justin, and we're gonna need pyrotechnics. What was the other big one that you needed them to do?
Fire breathers.
Fire breathers.
I think trap doors.
Get a Renaissance fair, like a quick run fair.
Pocket too long, you get trap doored.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, William Curtis says water. Maybe get some gators in there. Like you can.
What about this? You know, in NBA, beginning of the game, people run out from the corners and they're like, "The starting lineup, here he comes, Michael Jordan." Why does that not happen before the finals? Why can't we just like
retired now?
With like, you know what I'm saying? I don't fucking watch basketball. Dan Marino, you know, like I literally don't know. But I don't know, some like hype up music, like each player's song, or maybe like just one song for the team. But make it more of a spectacle rather than just like it begins and then there's like quiet between points, and you know what I mean? You want to make it a sweet story like when you go to an NBA game.
Yeah, Andrew McKenzie says one player on each team gets a horse. Okay, we're good. Wait, what we'll do is let's noodle on this one, magicians, and we'll get a whole list of this. We'll get Tom on the show next week, and we'll go down the list, get a yay, a nay, or a maybe. And
the horse will get a nay, right?
Yeah, because really you would only have to do it for just Sunday. Like you don't need to do it in the prelims. You could do like maybe music walkouts because there's time for that. But like all the other stuff you want to implement, there's way more time on Sundays to do that because there's a lot more time that we have, you know, because we don't have a million teams playing on the field all day. So like you really would only need to do it for Sunday. Like have these things. So it's not like you would need them for every single match. Like it's not going to like absolutely shred the bank account.
Yep.
I don't know what pyrotechnics cost, but it can't be that expensive. I mean, you can get sparklers for fucking 89 cents. At least start with sparklers.
Oh man, and they do have a DJ there. I don't know. We'll noodle on it, guys. I like this though. We're going in the right direction. So the 10-minute halves were good. 8 minutes in between. We just got to figure out what type of Kendrick Lamar type ish show in between that budget and 89-cent sparklers that we could do in 8 minutes. That will be exciting for everybody on the sidelines.
Like a LARP show.
Yep,
you know the guy who does the shoot and paint song? Get him out there. People love that song.
Snakes, sparklers are the only things I like.
Or Drew Templeton with Back Center Man.
I think you could probably get Ja Rule. You know, he's not very relevant anymore. You probably pay him like $500 and he'd be there.
There it is. I mean, how are we not on the bankroll? Like, how are we not getting paid for these ideas?
We've lost 100 viewers, so maybe that's why. But I am seeing some good comments in here. I am seeing some good comments. Yeah, community. Yeah, have a guy that eats paintballs till he pukes. Okay. We're getting there, guys.
Idea.
Love J-Rab and Legion, but with the pro finals back to true X-Ball, don't think they have enough depth on the roster. Oh, Ducky, dude, you can't hit us with that at the very end. I thought you were going to give us something good.
Dude, the
10-minute halves was not hard. I'm 43 years old. Didn't even break a sweat out there.
Yeah. When we were playing the Russians, I think J-Rab was having some gun issues, so they called a timeout on like the second point, and I was like, oh, tight, they wasted there. So like the whole match, we're like, don't use the timeout, and they're all beat us to the box every point after that, even till like the end of the match.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with not being able to play back-to-back points. Everyone's like, oh, you know, we can just play more because they have no depth, and like Maddie says it all the time. It's like, it's not a thing. If it was gonna be a thing, it would have been a thing when we played 2 events in one weekend. With the same 5 guys the
Yeah,
entire
that was
weekend.
wild.
True.
So,
Well,
Good show.
good show. Congrats, J-Rab. Good
you.
job, everybody. Thank you all very much, everybody out there in YouTube land, for tuning in. I hope that we cleared the air. Hopefully, we made some progress. We changed some people's minds. The world is a better place after you watch the Spick and Span show. I'm pretty sure that's more or less. That hits the mark right there, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
so.
cool. Sweet.
All right, see you guys.
All right, see you
right.
guys.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Spicka Span
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Show.
We doing a raffle or something?
Generally, yeah, but I'm gonna